Kayleigh, the president's niece filed a lawsuit in New York State Court today alleging that the president and two of his siblings had cheated her out of millions and squeezed her out of the family business, and we were hoping to get reaction from the White House.
Yeah, the only fraud committed there was Mary Trump recording one of her relatives, and she's really discredited herself. Yes.
Kayleigh, on TikTok, we know that the CFIUS negotiations are continuing. Can you say, has the president been briefed in the last couple days about how the CFIUS negotiations are going? Do you know when those negotiations will end?
Yeah, not that I'm not aware of his briefing schedule with regard to TikTok, but what I can say is what the president has said, which is that any deal has to be 100% as far as national security is concerned. And I'd refer you to his comments as well as of those from the Department of Treasury for any further specifics. I'd refer you there. Yes, Jeff.
Thank you, Kayleigh. The president suggested yesterday that he might overrule stricter standards at the FDA on the coronavirus vaccine. Why would the president not want strict standards for a vaccine on the coronavirus?
Well, the FDA does have strict standards. They are the gold standard with regard to vaccines. The president was referring to the normal interagency process that happens with guidance, and that includes running through the Office of Management and Budget. So that's standard operating procedure. And I would also point out, I spoke to Dr. Hahn this morning, and Dr. Hahn said that the guidance issued was a follow-up to June 30th guidance that they put out, and it was guidance that they gave to pharmaceutical companies to provide them with more regulatory clarity. Yes.
The White House is describing this healthcare event today as a chance for the president to outline his vision. Is that something less than his plan? And just a second part of that, does the White House think that it can address the country's challenges with healthcare solely through executive action?
So the president will be laying out his healthcare vision today. I don't want to get ahead of exactly what that will look like. There will be some tangible actions taken, as well as the president really laying out, something that I think has been overlooked, the real contrast between what Obamacare gave us between 2013 and 2017 and what the president has delivered. And I think we have a graphic to that effect. I'm not sure if they were able to put it together in time. But with Obamacare, it is a fact that from 2013 to 2017, premiums in this country went up. In fact, they went up by 105% on the individual market. And you contrast that with President Trump, what he's managed to do by rolling back a lot of Obamacare. And we've seen premiums on the individual market go down. Same for Medicare Part D and Medicare Advantage, the polar opposite of what happened with Obamacare, where those premiums went up. So premiums have come down under this president. Drug prices have come down under President Obama. Drug prices were up 15%. Under President Trump, they came down for the first time in 50 years. And then finally, under Obamacare, you had choice that went down. 1/3 of counties had only one insurer in the individual market. And with President Trump, there are new affordable options like AHPs, STLDIs, and HRAs, healthcare reimbursement arrangements, as well as employer-sponsored insurance that has gone up. We've seen an increase of 1.5 million in 2019. So these principles have undergirded the Trump presidency, and he will use many of the same principles going forward, and you'll get his comprehensive health care vision that will include some action items here in short order.
Is this the extent of the plan, or is there more after this?
This is going to be his full vision that he has been talking about over the last few weeks, and it'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina today. Yes.
Thanks so much, Kayleigh. I wanted to ask about the Supreme Court considerations. Has the president met with all the top candidates that are under consideration? Are there any others? Who else is he? Are there any others that he still plans to meet with? Judge Lagoa, for example, does he still plan to meet with Judge Lagoa?
So I'm not going to get into the president's private meetings with these candidates. He's noted that there are 5 he's considering. They all fall in the same mold as textualists, originalists, Constitution-abiding judges.
On another note, today at the Supreme Court, when the president approached, was paying his respects to Justice Ginsburg, there were some people in the crowd that started to chant to respect her wishes, to uphold her wishes. Do you have some thoughts on those chants, which also, included vote him out?
Yeah, I think the chants were appalling, but certainly to be expected when you're in the heart of the swamp. I travel with the president all across the country, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Florida, Nevada, and everywhere we go, the streets are lined with support like I don't think any other president has had previously. But with regard to precedent, as I've noted before, 29 times has an appointment been made in an election year, 29 times, and that was all 29 times when there was a vacancy at hand. So the precedent is very much on our side here. And I would also note the hypocrisy of Democrats. Joe Biden saying, I would go forward with the confirmation process as chairman even a few months before an election. Barack Obama saying, fill the Supreme Court vacancy when it was his tenure. And you had Kamala Harris saying as well that Senate GOP is holding SCOTUS hostage for political gain. Join me in calling them to consider President Obama's nominee. So they've really flipped here because the precedent is on our side and their hypocrisy is on full display. Yes.
The former #2 of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Paul Selva, who served under President Trump, he and 500 other national security and military leaders, they endorsed Joe Biden today. Do you guys have a comment on that, given that it doesn't seem like Jim Mattis and Joe Dunford, who also served under the president, are rushing to support him this election?
Yeah, I think the president's record speaks for itself. Our military men and women, our veterans, love this president for a very distinct reason. Under Obama Biden, sequestration really gutted our military. You had the Navy at its smallest point ever, and the other military branches were absolutely gutted. Then you had President Trump, who came in and secured a record amount of funding for our military and our Department of Defense and built up our military. When it comes to veterans, the appalling way that our veterans were treated at the VA. Under Obama Biden, there was an IG report that as many as 300,000 veterans, think about that, 300,000 veterans could have died waiting for care. This president came in, put in the VA Missions Act, secured real choice and options for our veterans, and that's the reason that the military and our veterans love this president.
But why is Selva endorsing Joe Biden?
I can't speak to one person's reasoning, but this president, when you look at what he's done, bringing our troops home and all he's done in aggregate, the rank and file in this military love this president. Yes.
Thanks, Kayleigh. Two quick follow-ups on what's been discussed earlier. Does the president still have confidence in the FDA commissioner based on his comments yesterday?
There are no changes. Dr. Hahn is FDA commissioner, so yes.
And then to follow up, you said that you thought the chants outside the Supreme Court this morning were appalling. Is there any issue with people peaceably demonstrating and chanting at the president?
No, of course. Everyone has a First Amendment in this country, but I thought it was an appalling and disrespectful thing to do as the president honored Justice Ginsburg.